And like all new players, she's discarding a defense card.
He says new players. What he really means is cyclically attuned to what's coming up. And actually, I agree. A lot of new players will tend to discard defense cards from their hand rather than potentially getting rid of an attack or a power surge card. Thinking that, well, it's just a defense card, it's really not a problem. However, if you get rid of all your defense cards from your hand, you won't have any to bank when it's actually your turn. So you won't be able to potentially save yourself from a really serious event that happens later on.
Yeah.
But my thinking, and I'm actually going to tell you about my strategy, even though I normally wouldn't. My strategy is, because I have Energy Blast that allows me to double my attack on my attack cards, I actually want to hold on to as many attack cards as I can so that I can actually get rid of a hero in one fell swoop if the healer is still out, because otherwise it's kind of a wasted effort.
Yeah,
we're losing attack. She's going to keep healing them.
Yep.
So I'm kind of hoping or banking that I'll be able to do some serious damage on my next turn.
Yep, that makes sense. So we did recur abilities. Now we're going to cycle the powers. So phasing is going to get pushed off in exchange for another psionic ability. Mm-hmm. And then mimic. It's one of my favorite powers.
Mimic is really good.
Going to get pushed off in exchange for weaponry. All right. So weaponry. Remember, weaponry's had a couple changes since we printed out this this.
Oh, well, please
prototype.
Regale me with these
so now
updates.
You have to spend a power surge to get an attack, but you can get a defense for free, but it gives you both options.
Oh, that's right.
Interestingly enough, weaponry used to be one of the most popular powers. People would buy it every time.
Yeah.
I think throughout the entirety of the WonderCon demos that we did, nobody bought it.
Interesting.
And I think because it didn't come up as often, more so than because they didn't think it was worthwhile. So it'd be interesting to see if it still remains as popular long term.
I think one of the things that I love about this game and watching other people play is the combination of powers that they come up with, and how they think that those powers are going to work together, because they do some amazing combos that I never would have considered, simply because of the way that I've been playing the game or the way that we came up with the powers. I end up sort of getting into a track thinking, oh, well, this is what I do with this power, and this is what I do when I get these powers. I don't really branch out and thinking of new combinations.
Yeah, it's really cool to see what kind of value new players put on the different abilities, the different powers. You know, that you get some powers that you'll get 20 people in a row who all go, oh, this is the best power in the game, clearly, and everybody tries to buy it and everything like that, and that's totally cool. And then the next 20 players look at that power and go, meh, and they choose a different power, and they all agree, oh, no, that's the most powerful one. And I think a lot of it is just the specific circumstances they run into.
Yeah.
That lead them to say, well, in this situation, this power would have been the best one. Yeah. And I think just as, the more you play the game, the more you realize that all of the powers really are situational. Some powers are less powerful, but useful in more varied situations. And then others are really powerful, but useful in narrow situations. And they'll just come up in different combinations.
Some of my favorite points in games sometimes is when I have a power that would be considered mediocre or less sort of, let's say, blast worthy or less powerful, is using it in an interesting way that makes the game itself more interesting to play, or puts a real twist on what's happening, on the action that's happening on the play mat. So
yeah.
All right,
so my turn.
Come on.
I'm going to check for heroes and guards. We've got plenty of heroes out. Next, I'm going to refresh my powers. I can finally use my reality warping.
By the way, I just want to point out that during this whole debate about Skittles, Ben has managed to put the bag over on his side of the table.
You said you didn't want me reaching across the table.
Far out of reach of me.
Yeah, it's weird. Really.
Yeah, and it's right by the microphone, so you're probably just
sorry,
deafening everyone.
Sorry, everybody.
All right.
You got caught in the
He is a thief.
You got caught in the crossfire of our Skittle War.
Exactly. All right.
All right.
So you refresh your power. I'm actually really curious to see if you're going to do something with reality warping this turn. So.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, yes, that's why I asked. That's why I mentioned it.
I'm going to use a Power Surge to refresh my Archetype ability first off. I have to do that during my Refresh Powers step, so I'm going to do that now.
When did you... oh, that's right. Right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I would discard my bank defenses, but I don't have any. So I actually could use Reality Warping to either try to swap out the laser turrets or swap out one of the heroes. I'm thinking if I swap out a hero, it's going to be the healer. But swapping out the laser turrets could also be really good, because I'm not going to be able to destroy that this turn.
Well, it needs either a combination of 5 attack or defense. And or defense, I should say. But recalling what I know of your cards, you are not really set up for that. So
I'm not really. Ooh.
Hey!
Nah.
Listen to you. This is your turn. Do not touch my Skittles.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Spend a Power Surge. Activate Reality Warping. I'm going to try to swap out the laser turret.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm going to draw the top card from the obstacle deck. I can choose to either shuffle it back into the obstacle deck or put it into play. If I put it into play, I can shuffle one obstacle in play into the obstacle deck. So I'm going to do that. So I got the Reinforced Doors obstacle, which doesn't actively hurt us. All it would do was prevent us from hurting other obstacles in play while this is out. But since I'm shuffling that back into the obstacle deck, now all we have is a Reinforced Door. So that's going to prevent us from losing a card at the end of every turn. I'm actually quite happy with that.
That actually was a really good result because, quite frankly, we're not doing damage to any of the heroes in play right now. So the healer is not being as much of a punk as she could be.
Right. Yeah, she could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So the obstacle deck is going to go back onto... Okay. Then I've got one attack card that I'm going to play during the attack target step. I'm going to put that on the Reinforced Doors. Next, I've got 2 Power Surges. Well, sorry. I would bank my defense and Power Surges. I don't have any defense. I'm going to bank my Power Surges, but then immediately spend them during the buy power step. So I'm actually going to go ahead and buy Sorcery.
I think that's an excellent choice.
And I'm going to buy Sorcery for myself, not for the victory condition.
Yeah, I agree with that move, actually, because I do want to see it. Part of what Ben had said previously is we do want to actually test these new powers out in gameplay, not just quickly shuffle them into victory piles or something else. So.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw back up to 5 now that I purchased a power. I'm going to draw an event card. Ooh.
That did not sound good. I'm not sure I want to see.
Heroic Assault. Trigger the reveal abilities of all heroes in play. Heroes triggered by this card are going to affect all players starting with the active player. So, first, let's go with the healer. The healer is going to remove all attack cards from all heroes, then play the top card of the hero discard pile. So actually, she doesn't do anything. So that actually played out pretty well.
Yeah.
Then we're going to discard 2 cards from our hand.
Super Soldier. Oh god, this is I'm so unhappy right now. I am so unhappy right now.
I'm not thrilled with this either. How do I want to do this?
Very, very not. No.
I think...
Oh, you should get rid of that.
Would you... Look that way. Close your eyes, woman. Every time.
Well, if you wouldn't, angle them towards me...
I'm angling so that I can see them. You are actively turning your head 90 degrees to the right so you can see my card.
No, this is a 45-degree angle. So I can see the playing board.
Yeah, we did make this game. I still blame Sarah for it, though. Okay, so I'm going to do the short-sighted thing that I was just saying I don't always recommend. I'm going to discard my defense cards.
Wow. That's very short-sighted.
What's on? Next, the Super Soldier is going to make us discard a victory card. So Psionic ability is going to go into the discard pile. Sadly, we don't have any defense to prevent that.
Nope.
So the Super Soldier just made victory a little bit harder to achieve. I was going to go for something more poetic, and I failed. I have no idea what that icon is. Are those little dog? Is that a little dog scratching himself behind the ear? I have no idea what that is. Sorry, my monitor's a little bit further away. Let me know if that's what that icon that you just put up is, Monster Mochi. Then we're gonna have to choose. We're gonna
what? No,
exhaust
no,
a power.
No.
So you choose which power you want to keep exhausted.
Ah.
I have to keep reality warping exhausted because it's my most expensive.
You know what? I'm actually going to keep power augmentation.
Oh, kapow! Oh, it's words, letters.
Oh, from this distance, it actually does look like a little golden dog facing the left with his tail up and either standing or scratching his ear.
Yeah, it does look exactly like that from this distance. But now that you've said that, it does look like kapow. I like that. Yeah, these heroes decided that they wanted to gang up on us poor villains. So which power are you going to keep exhausted?
I'm going to keep power augmentation exhausted because I have a feeling
I think you should keep this one exhausted. I totally just stole a Skittle under the pretense of pointing at one of her power cards. She's really, really annoyed with me right now.
Maintenant, je parle seulement en français.
Now we're going to do the recurability on the healer.
No, I'm still going to keep power augmentation.
That's fair.
So,
but we still don't have any wounds on anything. Yeah, she will. She'll karate chop me later. Mm-hmm. They're still not wounded, so we're good. Cycle the powers. Ooh, another power augmentation.
We have to cycle.
Yep. Duplication is going to go into the discard pile.
So, strength. Psionic.
Ooh, another strength.
And another strength. Okay.
So we've got another power augmentation out on the table.
Ouch. I have a very, very weak hand.
Do you? Can you buy power augmentation level 2?
I might be able to, actually.
Oh, then you should do that. I can't wait to see that in play. That's going to be awesome.
All right. So it is now my turn. Unfortunately, we do have a lovely collection of heroes and guards out on display. I'm going to refresh 2 of my 3 powers. So Exceptional Training and Energy Blast are now up and ready for use. Because of the Arcane Master's unblockable reveal or ability, I do have to keep power augmentation exhausted until the end of my next turn.
So Monster Mochi, Villains and Henchmen uses it's a sans serif font. I think it's Arial Narrow.
I actually can't remember.
I don't know. I want to say Arial Narrow. I could be wrong about that. I can look it up and get that information to you, though.
We actually went through a lot of different fonts and different typefaces to get an idea of which one was going to have the best readability and sort of best contrast on colored cards. So
you'll notice that the old... it's still not going to focus, is it? The old... prototypes all used a serif font.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of feedback saying that it made it a lot a lot harder to read. So we switched to sans serif, and it has made a big difference, especially as we've added art to the cards.
Yeah, it's actually it's kind of backwards from sort of the traditional thinking. When you are looking at printed material, they typically want to use serif fonts because the footing on the letters actually makes it easier for your eyes to adjust and to read and differentiate the letters. But because we're doing, when we're doing sort of different colored backgrounds and colored backgrounds, those feet get lost, and so it actually makes it harder to see the actual letters. So,
as far as like the back of the decks and everything like that, I'd have to talk to the graphic designer who did those. I don't know if they were a custom font or not.
Oh, so... I actually selected that font.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Oh, did you give it to?
I did.
Nicole when she did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's actually a true type. It's a true type font. It is free. I cannot think of the name off the top of